like this hand. Yeah, this hand looks pretty good. I'm interested to see if I had another land, I get to go kind of crazy. Not super crazy, not like old school elves crazy, I guess. I haven't had one of those hands of this deck, and I imagine they're a lot harder without symbiote to like start on tapping stuff. Birch floor is also a big part of that, so. So lead on the Mystic as there's like some conditional scenarios. Like if I had a second land and a second Nettle Sentinel, where you lead on not Mystic, but I think here it's pretty clear. I think I'm just supposed to run out all the one drops. It's kind of awkward because I get like a little bit wrecked by a removal spell, but I don't like if there's a land on top of my deck that I was gonna visionary into for this turn. It's like really only helps me if there's a land two down. Oh, well, that's actually fine by me. So blue, white, red control maybe? I guess we'll see. This forces a removal spell if my opponent has it. Opponent's definitely choosing the wrong creature every single time so far. Um, it's kind of instinct, I think, from like the Legacy Elf deck to target the uh, like combo-ish elves. But I think in this deck, it's actually just better to take the Mystics out of action. So there's nothing in my graveyard I really want to witness back here. Geist, probably? That's not bad. I think I'm supposed to witness back the Visionary here, though. I think I just need to develop a board so that I can set up a Chord of Calling for something relevant. Yeah, I've been really impressed with this Eternal Witness nonsense. So I'm definitely not cutting them, possibly even adding more if I continue playing this deck. I led on not getting the Visionary countered because I think the card matters more than the mana. Remand, so we're playing against Blue White Red Twin probably? Tech Edge is oddly good against this deck. I'm okay losing this creature to a Resto Angel. That's kind of an issue. Definitely messes with the plans I had. I don't think I'm just supposed to run out of Zuri here, but maybe I was. I kind of want to try to land it on a turn where I have Okina up. That might just be too much. The other thing too is I don't mind blocking a creature with Snapcaster here. I'm blocking Snapcaster with a creature here. So I can't attack into that. Definitely another remand in my opponent's hand. Trying to figure out what my actual line is here. I mean, besides this creature just most likely dying. Think I'm supposed to just do this here. Just get another creature into play. If I get electrolyzed again, I'm kind of dead. I guess this did give my opponent a good chance to use a mana leak. But that then puts them out of position to really do anything else. I do get wrecked by a Supreme Verdict effect. Yeah, that's fine. So I guess the next step is trying to stick a chord for, I guess, another Azuri, but well, I don't have any attacks because of this card, so I'm just going to pass back. I think I'm just supposed to try to stick this card here. No, I think I'm supposed to. That was wrong. I should have led with Chord. I think Chord is the one I care least about getting mana leaked. I was also really close to just like not having mana leak be a problem there. I think I just have to take this hit too. Ugh. Yeah, that turn was definitely suboptimally played. And wow, that was a horrible tap too, I guess. think I also take this too. Yeah. Definitely should have waited on the company. And this is supposed to be for Arc Druid here. Very unlikely to resolve, though. Cryptic. It's technically correct to play that card, so. I guess maybe I shouldn't have, I think I may have needed to block a Snapcaster last turn. Because I think otherwise, being dead in 2 to the Colonnade, is a problem. Yeah. Yeah, dead to, like, really anything at this point. So I have to... I guess it's... Block... Block? Yeah, block. And then I chord for Zuri. Oh, my opponent has nothing, which is very unlikely. Dead to anything that can kill a creature or deal a damage. That does it. Yeah, I think if I had blocked a turn earlier, I guess the 2 damage doesn't matter in that exact case. I think the mistake might have been collected companying where I collected companied. I think Cord is very bad in this matchup for what it's worth. I think I need to go on this plan. I think Chokes. It's not great, but I think it'll do some work. Excuse me. It's kind of like a Spellskite that attacks. Not the biggest fan. This card is trash. These 5 cards are trash. I think I cut 2 chords then. I don't think I want Beast Within because I think my opponent actually just uses the 3/3 to kill me. I don't think I want the other Spellskite. I think I want 1 just as like a, I mean, to do exactly what it does on the card, but I think that's it. Can't imagine this is a good matchup, and just seeing this makes me feel like I can't imagine any deck with Snapcaster Mage is a good matchup. It's probably okay. Keyword being okay and not actually good. Can't imagine Finks is the right card here. I don't think this is a deck that can afford to try to use Cyborg cards as like ways to bridge the gap between matchups. I think this is a deck that I was probably the best draw, by the way, for turn 2 possible. But I think this is a deck that just needs like the most powerful thing against the matchup it cares the most about. I don't think Finks does enough against Burn or like blue, white, red. There's probably like a better card that just is a more powerful effect against Jund and blue, white, red, and you just want that. I think I lead on Finks. The reason for that is I actually want to bait the counterspell due to Collected Company. And if I play Archdruid, it's just going to die to a burn spell instead. And this is a case where I upkeep the company. Because unless my opponent imported in Counterflux, I don't really think there's anything that I get punished for waiting. Or for doing it here as opposed to my main phase. Whereas if I wait, I'm getting punished by a lot of stuff. Definitely want Finks. The question is if I want Archdruid or Visionary here. I think the Archdruid. I think I need a little more kick to this attack. So I think I need the Archdruid here. If I wait, I get punished by Cryptic and Mana Leak for main phase or end of turn, that is. Even though it plays slightly around a Wrath, I think I'm okay. Like, this board state, like, if I get Wrath, I get to keep a Finks. My opponent has traded Wrath for basically just Collected Company. See, like, that's perfectly fine by me. So, if I just Witness, get back, Collected Company, play generic Beatdown Dork. I think I'm supposed to commit another creature to the board because it forces my opponent to potentially Wrath. I'm okay getting effectively 2 for 1 there because it opens me up to cast a company next turn. It also requires a second Verdict. I don't know how many are usually in the blue-red decks nowadays, but from what I've seen, it ranges between like 1 and 4, which is a huge range, obviously, but... I actually think if my opponent chooses to tap my team with Cryptic, I'm supposed to play Ooze and immediately take out the Verdict. And that's play Ooze, leaving up only basics. I actually immediately take out the Verdict and eat my 2 non-Kitchen Finks creatures. And the point of this is so that I can beat a Snapcaster on Supreme Verdict here. I don't want to deal with any kind of sequencing nonsense. I just want that out of here. And I want to do this so that my opponent cannot Lightning Bolt the Scavenging Ooze. I feel like if there was another Verdict, it would have been cast last turn. My opponent also can't cast another command off a Snapcaster. Not just because they don't have the fourth blue, but because the ooze is now in play. So they have to jump through that hoop before anything happens. I don't really see a reason to commit more to the board at this point. Uh, sure. What? Just on principle, no. I think I'm actually just okay shoving with everything. If my opponent trades like Helix plus Snapcaster for the ooze, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Gotta bring the beat somehow. Just maximize damage output. Um, I think so. This is what I'm supposed to eat two things now, so that if my opponent has double bolt, I can respond appropriately. Like if I didn't eat two things now, that was the wrong thing to eat because I'd rather have the option of a one drop or the Finks. But if I didn't eat two things now, I wouldn't be able to eat things on my opponent's end step, because otherwise I just get double bolted in response to my 4/4 ooze that could only get to a 6. That's fine. Um, what did I just say? I'm supposed to eat the Finks. I don't know if the 7 actually matters, though. I think I was actually supposed to eat the Electrolytes. And then I think I'm actually just. I'm supposed to extend this and not leave up company? I don't know if that's actually right. Eh, okay. I guess, yeah, my opponent messed that up. They could have animated Colonnade and continued. But I didn't really want to extend the company because I felt like that was like my big recovery positioning play later. So it's possible I should have just left up the company, though. Not going to change sideboarding, so let me think about this for a minute. So leaving up the company is worse if my opponent has a counter spell. Like, that beats counter magic, but is worse against Supreme Verdict. I think I'd rather play around generic removal spell plus counter magic than specifically Supreme Verdict there, though. Yeah. Sick. I'm. I honestly like the post-war configuration of this deck a little more. Um, don't think that's good enough. There's what? How many lands in this deck? 19. Yeah, I'd have to like. This is fine. So I guess lead on the good land. Maybe I'm supposed. That was actually wrong. I'm supposed to lead on the worst land, so that my opponent is not immediately incentivized to play some spell on this. I don't know what spell it would be. And now is the debate if I play around Electrolyze or not. I think I do. I can either play around Electrolyze or get in for a single point of damage. I think that the damage to my hand if my opponent has Electrolyze is just too much for me to consider doing that. So I think this turn I just want to pass. And I actually would like to leave up all of my mana so that my opponent can't take me off of 4 with a single removal spell. If they do nothing, then I follow up with Finks. No, that might have been... Maybe if I just should have cast Finks here. I'm just trying to figure out how to put my opponent in like the worst possible situation to use their cards. It just... I can't like specifically state why I like the other line better, but it certainly feels like the other line's a little more clunky for my opponent. Lightning Bolt, Nettle Sentinel. That's fine. Oh. Well, that is one reason. I now get to Finks with Mana Leak mana. Let's not tap like a dork. I think this is the right way to tap. And I think I'm actually supposed to pass again instead of getting in this 1 damage. Because it leaves me with Collected Company up if there's a verdict in my future. Path the Finks. Well, there's 2 mana up, so there's no reason to do anything. So I actually just pass here so I can EOT Company with 3 up for Mana Leak. I think I messed up sideboarding a little bit. It's possible I should have had a single Rec Stage in my deck. I should leave that up. That's how I should tap. I think I want to put Visionary Azuri into play. That forces my opponent's hand on something and gets me value. Whereas if I just put Visionary, my opponent can just sit here and do nothing for quite a while. Oh boy. What? What? What does my opponent have? I don't. I don't think they quite comprehend the depth of the issue they've just landed themselves into. Path the Azuri. I will gladly pump. Um, I like exposing another creature here, because it puts my opponent at actual lethal on board with the Pendelhaven. Sphinxes for 2. This gets rematted. I'm just recasting it. Doesn't get remanded, so I get back company. Then I just play this dork. I don't really want to lose. Uh, I actually like doing this here. I think that if my opponent taps down for, um, so it's partially the way my opponent passed there. Like it was clear they were F6'd. Um, that's a huge thing to hit. Like not for so many reasons. But it was kind of clear to me that they were F6, but also because they were unable to capitalize immediately with Electrolyze. So like they could. So I want Witness Sphinx, right? But they couldn't play an Electrolyze on my end step because they only had blue and white lands up. And yeah, I just want to get back company every time, right? And if they wanted to punish me for tapping my Pendelhaven there with Electrolyze, I would gladly accept that because it means that they're tapped out of Cryptic Mana on my next turn. Just throwing more things on board. Oh, yeah. This is pretty punishing if my opponent's plan is Snapcaster Verdict. And by pretty, I mean pretty absurdly punishing. Gosh, I even get to keep the Finks and attack with it next turn? This deck is... I'm working my opponent over real nice this game. I don't need the Cavern Mana. The Nykthos, though. Nykthos could do some real work here. Oh, I'm sad. So I can nick those 4 mana. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. This is just the you must cast Verdict every single turn for the rest of the game, otherwise I will create a board state you can't beat. Unless I can't beat a Baneslayer Angel, admittedly. Is there another Verdict in my opponent's graveyard? It's an Anger. That's nice. Maybe I will run out of things to do with this collecting company. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I guess technically that's better to leave up. And nope, did not run out of things. Okay, so this works. So what I'm doing here is playing Azuri because it lets me regenerate my Elvish Archdruid through a sweeper. So I'm not actually committing additional things to the board. And by playing this Azuri, I'm representing a significantly larger absolute power of creatures next turn. Well, I did finally run out of things. Yeah, this is the wrong sequence. You're supposed to... If you have the sweeper, you're supposed to Verdict and then do this. What just happened? Why was there life gained? That just targeted the wrong creature, didn't it? Okay, there's no Snapcaster. That would have been like the immediate end of the game if there was a Snapcaster for that path there. Conveniently, Rev for 2 doesn't, or for 3 doesn't save my opponent. Neither does Chump blocking. It would have to be like top decked path plus Chump block. I haven't done the math on this chord. This is the attack I'm pretty sure I have to make regardless. So Bolt the Finks is fine. Still lethal coming through. Now, is this going to be a Rev? So the Rev resolves. That resolves. Now I think. So I think I have lethal. So I go chord 1, 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is, yeah. X is currently 3. I get my last Azuri. Then that was awesome. This deck, it's got some moves. It's a little better than I thought it was against this kind of nonsense. I think it'd be a lot worse if my opponent could just kill me with Splinter Twin, but it's a little better than I thought it was.